Tonight on the Nightly Review, a sad story becomes tragic for a local woman gunned down outside a West Fargo restaurant. Ground is broken on North Dakota's first dedicated soybean processing plant, and a pair of West Fargo lawmakers gets the highest possible grade from the NRA. Hello and welcome to the Nightly Review. I'm Steve Hallstrom filling in for Tom Tucker. All that and more tonight, including an interview with Hornbachers President Matt Leiseth on the potential for a global food shortage this fall. Leading our headlines tonight, a sad ending to a story we've been following for you over the last month. After weeks of battling injuries, the woman who was shot outside Plaza Azteca while protecting her 7-month-old son has died. The family of Lucia Garcia announced on its GoFundMe page that she had died of injuries suffered from the incident on May 18th. Garcia was hit in the right chest area and lost a significant amount of blood. She and her baby Dominique were shot by Garcia's fiancé Malik Gill, who later died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Doctors say Dominique is expected to make a full recovery. The GoFundMe account has raised over $23,000. ADM and Marathon Petroleum broke ground today on North Dakota's first dedicated soybean processing plant. The Green Bison Soy Plant at Spiritwood Energy Park is a $350 million facility. It will process up to 150,000 bushels of soybeans a day and provide byproducts to produce up to 75 million gallons of renewable diesel fuel each year. Another soybean plant is being planned for the Castleton area just 60 miles away, but North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum says that can be a good thing.
Well, if I'm a farmer and I live halfway between Castleton and Jamestown and there's two plants, that's a good deal for farmers. Companies, corporations, your retailer on Main Street, if you're in the private sector and we believe in free markets like we do in North Dakota, that's called competition.
The Green Bison facility is expected to be online by next year's harvest. WDAY Radio is reporting that Xcel Energy is set to charge North Dakota customers the highest rates of any of its customers. A hearing was held Wednesday regarding a proposal by the utility company to charge a $25 fee a month for natural gas, up from $18. The commission is settling with Xcel on a rate charge of $22.50. AARP is challenging the rate hike. North Dakotans are getting subpar results when it comes to rural emergency health services. The Center for Rural Health at the University of North Dakota received a grant in 2018 to see how the 120 EMS agencies across the state performed during 911 calls compared to the national average. The report found that North Dakota is slower than the national average for response time and below the national average when dealing with strokes. Well, going to school could get more expensive at Minnesota State universities and technical colleges. The Star Tribune reports that the system is poised to hike tuition by 3.5% next academic year. The increase needs to be voted on by the Board of Trustees next month. Average tuition per year is $8,900 at the universities and $5,700 at the community colleges. The system has seen enrollment decline by 12% over the last 2 years. A pair of West Fargo state representatives has been given the highest rating possible by the NRA. The forum reports that Ben Koppelman and Kim Koppelman received A+ ratings. The NRA issues the letter grades in each election cycle based on the person's voting record and an NRA questionnaire. Several metro area lawmakers got F- grades, the lowest possible rating. They are State Senators Kathy Hogan and Tim Mathern, and Representatives Josh Boucher, Carla Rose Hansen, Pamela Anderson, and Mary Schneider. Over a quarter of the Minnesota State Legislative Body is not seeking re-election. 59 representatives and senators will not be campaigning again, according to Fox 9 television. This is the highest number of incumbents not seeking another term in Minnesota in more than 50 years. Many of the choices to not run again is based on redistricting. A legislator must live within the borders of the district they represent, and many of those borders have now changed. Well, it appears that South Dakota Attorney General Jason Ravnsborg will not be running for re-election. Sources say Ravnsborg has been telling close confidants that he won't run again, no matter the outcome of a Senate impeachment trial. Ravnsborg was impeached in the South Dakota House in April over his actions related to a deadly crash in September of 2020. His Senate trial is set to begin June 21st. And the city of Minneapolis has its first five-star hotel. The Four Seasons Hotel in downtown Minneapolis is now open. It opened Wednesday, standing 36 stories tall, holding over 220 rooms and more than 30 residential condos. Amenities include a sustainable spa, an indoor pool, event space, 2 different restaurants, and a full-service bar. In a closer look tonight, a story with more than meets the eye. One person was killed and another seriously injured in a crash just off I-94 late Wednesday afternoon in Fargo. And here's something you don't hear every day. Authorities say meth played a factor. The North Dakota Highway Patrol says around 4:40 p.m., a 2007 Chevy Suburban that was towing a car dolly with a small car on it was headed westbound on I-94, exiting onto northbound I-29. There was an issue with the car dolly, and the driver of the Suburban had stopped on the shoulder of the off-ramp. The driver and passenger of the Suburban had exited, were standing at the rear of the Suburban. Shortly after they stopped, a Pontiac Grand Prix driven by 41-year-old Shandy Cordner rear-ended the car and the car dolly, pushing the car and dolly forward into the 2 people. Both were hospitalized, but one died upon arrival at the hospital. Cordner was arrested for felony possession of methamphetamine and was booked into the Cass County Jail. Troopers say additional charges are pending. Well, if you like staying informed each night on local news and issues, good news. You can subscribe so you never miss a show. Hit the bell button below to make sure that you don't miss the next episode. Put the kids to bed, put the day to bed, then catch up on what you've missed right here every night on the Nightly Review. Well, it was windy today, but lots of sun. What are things looking like headed into the weekend? Meteorologist Justin Storm is in the Skywatch Weather Center with a look at the forecast.
Thanks, Steve. As we head through this evening into the overnight hours, skies will remain mostly clear to partly cloudy across the area, but it is going to be a bit of a chilly one, unseasonably cool, with low temperatures in the upper 30s and lower 40s. The wind will be lightening up as well, around 5 to 15 from the north-northeast. The wind does turn out of the southwest for your Friday, still around 5 to 15 miles per hour. We'll have another mostly sunny afternoon with a few increasing clouds later in the day. Highs will be in the lower 70s, and for your Saturday, partly cloudy skies do continue, highs in the lower 70s with light wind.
It could happen to you or someone you love. One moment, one diagnosis can change everything. Thankfully, there's a program that helps caring people uplift families through a crisis. Lend a Hand Up, raising financial help and hope through community benefits and online campaigns. A program that boosts generosity so gifts go further. Lend a Hand Up helps you help your neighbors. Learn more and give at lendahandup.org.
In tonight's one-on-one conversation, we take a look at food prices and what might be in short supply at the grocery store. Matt Leiseth is president of the Hornbachers grocery store chain. Earlier today, I asked him, what's costing more in the store right now?
It feels like, and I'm sure for any guest that's coming into the grocery store, it feels like everything is going up. And it's just that overall sticker shock at the end of the shopping trip that it feels like my $50 didn't go as far as $50 used to. So I think that's a big part. Things that are continuing to be up, and we were talking about like the price of beef, and we're talking about record inflation and so forth. But there was such a production issue last summer, Steve, that the prices are actually at par on steaks that we were last year. It's still more than we're all used to paying. We've all got, great memories of gas being at 50 cents a gallon, and we remember steaks being much cheaper. But we're kind of on par with where we were last year. So still higher than we're used to, but still the same as far as the impact on your pocketbook. Where the rest of the pressure continues to come is everything else. And so one of the biggest drivers, I think, for a business like ours is the price of fuel. Crude oil is up, and so so much things touch crude oil. And so every time a truck backs up to our store, that's costing us more money in transportation to get it to us. And then also because of the price of crude oil, packaging. So the plastic that we use in the store when we package our bakery products, or the bags that we put it in, that's costing us more. That's costing the manufacturers more as they're packaging their own products and shipping it off the market. So it's really a combination of what feels like 100 different little things that are really adding up to this, what is unprecedented inflation.
Okay, so it sounds, Matt, like we might have to go easy on the steak and find some lower cost food for a while.
Well, I think you continue to shop deals. When you're looking at when you're buying, when things are on sale, that's always your best price that you're going to get. So, thinking ahead, meal planning, really thinking about how do you stretch that dollar. And there are great items that can still fuel your family, from a protein basis, from a fresh vegetable. That's the good part. Produce has been really good recently, and so prices are a little bit elevated, and that's more on transportation costs, getting it from the field back to the store. But good availability, good quality, and so as you're shopping the ad and really looking at your best value, how to stretch a meal. That's kind of the way it's going to go. It's going to mean less grilling on the, for steaks, and you're probably going to do a little bit more chicken, a little bit turkey. Pork has been absolutely a fantastic price right now. So, for everybody with their Traeger, that's a great item to get, along with, any kind of shoulder or brisket, that's really good value. And so I think it's just a little bit of focus on your meal planning. What do you like? And how do you translate that into your best value to stretch that dollar?
Okay, so prices are up, but how about supply? Are there any items that you're just not able to get at all right now?
It's different from the beginning of the pandemic, and you remember, and most of your viewers, we just didn't have stuff, and now it's more of, I think of like rolling blackouts. You're getting Powerade, but you may only get the red flavor and the purple flavor, and there's no blue. And then next week there'll be blue, but no purple. And so it's really, it's unmet demand in their processing facilities that they just can't get back up to full the way they used to be. And I think this is still, it's a hangover from COVID when everybody's inventory just was depleted, and a lack of people, lack of production is not getting us back up to what we're used to having on hand to keep pulling in from warehouses.
Matt, there's been talk that a global food shortage is coming. Are you hearing anything from your suppliers that they just might not have any food to give you later this year?
Well, I certainly can't speak to worldwide. I would bet in a lot of the developing countries that will be a real problem to solve without the distribution network. But the United States, we grow a lot of our own food, and even, the fresh fruit that we get during the middle of the winter is coming from Mexico, and we have spots where we can pull it as a developed nation. But I think what we're hearing is more the potential cost increases coming. That worldwide shortage probably is real, but less real because we grow a lot of our own wheat. We grow a lot of our own corn. As prices go up, I would assume that we'll just export less and keep it in our own system. I think that's probably the balance. So we're probably good. What I would see as worldwide pressure goes up, manufacturers will choose how many different items that they're going to make. They're going to try to be more efficient. They kind of learned it during COVID. You think of the Bush's bean section, there used to be like 15 different flavors, Steve. They're down to 5 now. And I bet they never come back to 15.
Leiseth says any wheat shortage will affect lots of food products that you might not think of. For example, it's wheat gluten that helps the salt stick to peanuts. And now you know. Well, that's our report for tonight. Thanks for watching the Nightly Review. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.